Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sah Viryankaravavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Today is the 31st class of Sundara Kandam. With Guru Kripa, we have completed learning 6 Sargas. Today we will be starting the 7th Sarga. I will do the Dhyana Shloka and then we will continue learning. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्. Namaste to all. Ram Ram. I think Kalpakam ji had mentioned that she will be able to repeat. Is she there? I'm not able to find her here. Ram Ram Kalpakam ji. Yeah, I don't see her here. Shanti ji, would you be able to repeat?
Namaste. Can you hear me?
Ram Ram, Namaste.
Ram Ram Ram. Namaste.
The 7th Sarga is Pushpaka Vimana Darshanam. Sundara Kandam, Saptama Sargaha, Pushpaka Vimana Darshanam. Saveshmajalam Balavan Dadarsh.
Saveshmajalam Balavan Dadarsh.
Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarnajalam.
Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarnajalam.
Yatha Mahat Pravrishi Meghajalam.
Yatha Mahat Pravrushi Meghajalam.
Vidyutpinadham Savihangajalam.
Vidyutpinadham सविहङ्गजालम्
सवेश्मजालं बलवान् ददर्श व्यासक्तवैडूर्यसुवर्णजालम्
सवेश्मजालं बलवान् ददर्श व्यासक्तवैडूर्यसुवर्णजालम्
यथा महत्प्रावृषिमेघजालं विद्युत्पिनद्धं सविहङ्गजालम्
यथा महत्प्रावृषिमेघजालं विद्युत्पिनद्धं सविहङ्गजालम्
निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः
निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः
प्रधानशङ्खायुधचापशालाः
शङ्खायुध चापशालाः
मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशाला
मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशाला
ददर्श वेश्माद्रिषु चन्द्रशालाः
ददर्श वेश्मादृशु चन्द्रशालाः
निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः प्रधानशङ्खायुधचापशालाः
निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः प्रधान चापशालाः
मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशाला ददर्श वेश्माद्रिषु चन्द्रशालाः
मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशाला ददर्श वेश्मादृशु चन्द्रशालाः
गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि
गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि
देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि
देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि
सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि
सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि
कर्ष स्वबलार्जितानि
कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि
Ram Ram, is my audio okay?
Sometimes it's slow G, sometimes it's quite fast,
Okay.
and
I
there's a lag.
okay. Lag in the audio? Okay.
Yes.
Hold on. Just give me a second, G. Just give. Ram, I'm just going to try switching. Just give me a second. Ram, is my voice audible now, Ji?
Yes, Ji. Yes.
Oh, okay, let's try this. Third one. Grihani nanavasurajitani
Grihani nanavasurajitani
devasuraischapi supujitani
devasuraishchapi supujitani
सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि
सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि
कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि.
कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि.
Very good. गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि
गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि
सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि
सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि.
Very good. Just 1 second. Somebody has asked, is it Vishalaha? So there is a sandhi which is lopa sandhi which is happening here. So depending on the next akshara, the in-between line might have a visarga or the visarga might disappear. So if your text has, just correct it just for our, it is actually padavibhagaha would be punarvishalaha. But because of lopa sandhi, it will be punarvishala here. तानि प्रयत्नेन समाहितानि
तानि प्रयत्नेन समाहितानि
मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि
मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि
महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि
महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि
ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि
ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि
तानि प्रयत्नेन समाहितानि मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि
तानि प्रयत्नेन समाहितानि मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि
महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि
महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि.
1 second. Ji. ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रितमेघरूपम्
ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रितमेघरूपम्
मनोहरं काञ्चनचारुरूपम्
मनोहरं काञ्चनचारुरूपम्
रक्षोधिपस्यात्मबलानुरूपम्
रक्षोधिपस्यात्मबलानुरूपम्.
Very good. गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम्
गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम्
ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रितमेघरूपम् मनोहरं काञ्चनचारुरूपम्
ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रितमेघरूपम् मनोहरं काञ्चनचारुरूपम्
रक्षोऽधिपस्यात्मबलानुरूपं गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम्
रक्षोऽधिपस्यात्म बलानुरूपं गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम्
महीतले स्वर्गमिवावतीर्णम्
महीतले स्वर्गमिवावतीर्णम्
श्रिया ज्वलन्तं बहुरत्नकीर्णम्
ज्वलन्तं बहुरत्नकीर्णम्
नानातरूणां कुसुमावकीर्णम्
नानातरूणां कुसुमावकीर्णम्
गिरेरिवाग्रं रजसावकीर्णम्
गिरेरिवाग्रं रजसावकीर्णम्
महीतले स्वर्गमिवावतीर्णम् श्रिया ज्वलन्तं बहुरत्नकीर्णम्
महीतले स्वर्गमिवावतीर्णम् श्रिया ज्वलन्तं बहुरत्नकीर्णम्
नानातरूणां कुसुमावकीर्णम् गिरेरिवाग्रं रजसावकीर्णम्
नानातरूणां कुसुमावकीर्णम् गिरेरिवाग्रं रजसावकीर्णम्
वेरी गुड नारी प्रवेकैरिव दीप्यमानम्
नारीप्रवेकैरिव दीप्यमानम्
तडिद्भिरम्बोधवतर्च्यमानम्
तडिद्भिरम्बोध तडिद्भिरम्बोधवदर्च्यमानम्
one more time
तडिद्भिरम्बोधवदर्च्यमानम्
हंसप्रवे हंसप्रवेकैरिव बाह्यमानम्
हंसप्रवेकैरिव बाह्यमानम्
श्रियायुतं खे सुकृतां विमानम्
श्रियायुतं खे सुकृतां विमानम्
नारी प्रवेकैरिव दीप्यमानम् तडिद्भिरम्भोदवदर्च्यमानम्
नारीप्रवेकैरिव दीप्यमानम् तडिद्भिरम्भोधवदर्च्यमानम्
हंसप्रवेकैरिव बाह्यमानम् श्रियायुतं खे सुकृतां विमानम्
हंसप्रवेकैरिव बाह्यमानम् श्रियायुतं खे सुकृतां विमानम्
वेरी गुड यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रम्
यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रम्
यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रम्
यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रम्
नभश्च ग्रह there is a dvitva there
यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रम्
very good ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रम्
ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रम्
विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रम्
विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रम्
यथा नगाग्रं one second यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रम् यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रम्
यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रम् यथा नभश्च यथा नभश्च ग्रहचन्द्रचित्रम्
ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रम् विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रम्
ददर्शयुक्तीकृतमेघचित्रम् विमानरत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रम्
Very good. Mahim krita parvatarajiपूर्णा
महीं कृता पर्वतराजिपूर्णा
शैलाः कृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः
शैलाः कृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः
वृक्षाः कृताः पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः
वृक्षाः कृताः पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः
पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम्
पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम्
महीं कृता पर्वतराजिपूर्णा शैलाः कृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः
महीं कृता पर्वतराजिपूर्णा शैलाः कृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः
वृक्षाः कृताः पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम्
वृक्षाः कृताः पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम्
कृतानि वेश्मानि च पाण्डुराणि
कृतानि वेश्मानि च पाण्डुराणि
तथा सुपुष्पाण्यपि पुष्कराणि
तथा सुपुष्पाण्यपि पुष्कराणि
पुनश्च पद्मानि सकेसराणि
पुनश्च पद्मानि सकेसराणि
धन्यानि चित्राणि तथा वनानि
धन्यानि चित्राणि तथा वनानि
कृतानि वेश्मानि च पाण्डुराणि तथा सुपुष्पाण्यपि पुष्कराणि
कृतानि वेश्मानि च पाण्डुराणि तथा सुपुष्पाण्यपि पुष्कराणि
पुनश्च पद्मानि सकेसराणि धन्यानि चित्राणि तथा वनानि
पुनश्च पद्मानि सकेसराणि धन्यानि चित्राणि तथा वनानि
Very good. पुष्पाह्वयं नाम विराजमानम्
पुष्पाह्वयं नाम विराजमानम्
रत्नप्रभाभिश्च विवर्धमानम्
रत्नप्रभाभिश्च विवर्धमानम्
वेश्मोत्तमानामपि चोच्यमानम्
वेश्मोत्तमानामपि चोच्यमानम्
महाकपिस्तत्र महाविमानम्
महाकपिस्तत्र महाविमानम्
पुष्पाह्वयं नाम विराजमानम् रत्नप्रभाभिश्च विवर्धमानम्
पुष्पाह्वयं नाम विराजमानम् रत्नप्रभाभिश्च विवर्धमानम्
भीष्मोत्तमानामपि चोच्यमानम् महाकपिस्तत्र महाविमानम्
वेश्मोत्तमानामपि चोच्यमानम् महाकपिस्तत्र महाविमानम्
कृताश्च वैडूर्यमया विहङ्गा
कृताश्च वैडूर्यमया विहङ्गा
रूप्यप्रवालैश्च तथा विहङ्गाः
रूप्यप्रवालैश्च तथा विहङ्गाः
चित्राश्च नानावसुभिर्भुजङ्गा
चित्राश्च नानावसुभिर्भुजङ्गा
जात्यानुरूपास्तुरगाः शुभाङ्गाः
जात्यानुरूपास्तुरगाः शुभाङ्गाः.
Very good. कृताश्च वैडूर्यमहा क्षम्यतां कृताश्च वैडूर्यमया विहङ्गा रूप्यप्रवालैश्च तथा विहङ्गाः
कृताश्च वैडूर्यमया विहङ्गा रूप्यप्रवालैश्च तथा विहङ्गाः.
चित्राश्च नानावसुभिर्भुजङ्गा जात्यानुरूपास्तुरगाः शुभाङ्गाः
चित्राश्च नानावसुभिर्भुजङ्गा जात्यानुरूपास्तुरगाः शुभाङ्गाः.
Very good. प्रवालजाम्बूनदपुष्पपक्षाः
प्रवालजाम्बूनदपुष्पपक्षाः
सलीलमावर्जितजिह्मपक्षाः
सलीलमावर्जितजिह्मपक्षाः. जिह्म, sorry.
like Brahma, right?
Yes,
Jimha.
जिह्म. सलीलमावर्जितजिह्मपक्षाः.
So when you write it as jihma only. We write it as BRAHMA, but we pronounce it as BRAMHA, right? Brahma. We don't say Brahma. We write it as BRAHMA, but we say it as Brahma. Only when after hakaram, if you have any of the fifth akshara. In Tamil, we call it Nyanyana Namana. Which is Idainam, right? Or Mellinam. Mellinam. Yeah. Mellinam. So all the Anunasika Akshara, then you say the Anunasika Akshara first and then you say the Ik. So Salilamavarjita Jimha Pakshaha.
सलीलमावर्जितजिह्मपक्षाः
कामस्य साक्षादिव भान्ति पक्षाः
कामस्य साक्षादिव भान्ति पक्षाः
कृता विहङ्गाः सुमुखाः सुपक्षाः
कृता विहङ्गाः सुमुखाः सुपक्षाः
महाप्राणः
कृता विहङ्गाः सुमुखाः सुपक्षाः.
वेरी गुड प्रवालजाम्बूनदपुष्पपक्षाः सलीलमावर्जितजिह्मपक्षाः
प्रवालजाम्बूनदपुष्पपक्षाः सलीलमावर्जितजिह्मपक्षाः
कामस्य साक्षादिव भान्ति पक्षाः कृता विहङ्गाः सुमुखाः सुपक्षाः
कामस्य साक्षादिव भान्ति पक्षाः कृता विहङ्गाः सुमुखाः
नियुज्यमानास्तु गजाः सुहस्ताः
नियुज्यमानास्तु गजाः सुहस्ताः
सकेसराश्चोत्पलपत्रहस्ताः
सकेसराश्चोत्पलपत्रहस्ताः
बभूव देवी च कृता सुहस्ता
बभूव देवी च कृता सुहस्ता
लक्ष्मीस्तथा पद्मिनी पद्महस्ता
लक्ष्मीस्तथा पद्मिनी पद्महस्ता
नियुज्यमानास्तु गजाः सुहस्ताः सकेसराश्चोत्पलपत्रहस्ताः
नियुज्यमानास्तु गजाः सुहस्ताः सकेसराश्चोत्पलपत्रहस्ताः
बभूव देवी च कृता कृतासु हस्ता लक्ष्मीस्तथा पद्मिनी पद्महस्ता
बभूव देवी च कृतासु हस्ता लक्ष्मीस्तथा पद्मिनी पद्महस्ता
इतीव तद्गृहमभिगम्य शोभनम्
इतीव
गृह
इतीव तद्गृहमभिगम्
One second.
சொல்லுங்க
इति
சொல்லுங்க
इतीव तद्गृहम् अभिगम्य. So इतीव तद्गृहमभिगम्य शोभनं गृहम् अभिगम्य. Having got there.
इतीव तद्गृहमभिगम्य शोभनम्
Very good. सविस्मयो नगमिव चारु शोभनम्
सविस्मयो नगमिव चारुशोभनम्
पुनश्च तत्परमसुगन्धिसुन्दरम्
पुनश्च तत्परमसुगन्धिसुन्दरम्
हिमात्ययेनगमिव चारुकन्दरम्
हिमात्ययेनगमिव चारुकन्दरम्
इतीव तद्गृहमभिगम्य शोभनम् सविस्मयो नगमिव चारुशोभनम्
इतीव तद्गृहमभिगम्य शोभनम् सविस्मयो नगमिव चारुशोभनम्
पुनश्च तत्परमसुगन्धिसुन्दरम् हिमात्ययेनगमिव चारुकन्दरम्
पुनश्च तत्परमसुगन्धिसुन्दरम् हिमात्ययेनगमिव चारुकन्दरम्
Very good. So there is here tatas satam kapirabhipatya pujitam
ततः सतां कपिरभिपत्य पूजिताम्
kapihi abhipatya. So kapirabhipatya. Tatas, yeah. Now, so I'll say it once and then you repeat it.
please.
Tatas satam kapirabhipatya pujitam
ततः सतां कपिरभिपत्य पूजिताम्
चरन् पुरीं दशमुखबाहुपालिता
चरन् पुरीं दशमुख बाहुपालिताम्
1 second जी वर्षिमा अदृश्यतां जनकसुतां सुपूजिताम्
अदृश्यतां जनकसुतां सुपूजिताम्
सुदुःखितः पतिगुणवेगनिर्जिताम्
सुदुःखितः पतिगुणवेगनिर्जिताम्
Very good. One more time.
सुदुःखितः पतिगुणवेगनिर्जिताम्
Very good. ततः सतां कपिरभिपत्य पूजिताम् चरन् पुरीं दशमुखबाहुपालिताम्
ततः सतां कपिरभिपत्य पूजिताम् ततः सतां कपिरभिपत्य पूजिताम् चरन् पुरीं दशमुख बाहुपालिताम्
अदृश्यतां जनकसुतां सुपूजितां सुदुःखितः पतिगुणवेगनिर्जिताम्
अदृश्यतां जनकसुतां सुपूजितां सुदुःखितः पतिगुणवेगनिर्जिताम्
ततस्तदा बहुविधभावितात्मनः
ततस्तदा बहुविधभावितात्मनः
कृतात्मनो जनकसुतां सुवर्त्मनः
कृतात्मनो जनकसुतां सुवर्त्मनः
अपश्यतो भवदति दुःखितं मनः
अपश्यतो भवदति दुःखितं मनः
सुचक्षुषः प्रविचरतो महात्मनः
सुचक्षुषः प्रविचरतो महात्मनः.
We will do this one more time. ततस्तदा बहुविधभावितात्मनः
ततस्तदा बहुविधभावितात्मनः
कृतात्मनो जनकसुतां सुवर्त्मनः
कृतात्मनो जनकसुतां सुवर्त्मनः
अपश्यतो भवदति दुःखितं मनः
अपश्यतो भवदति दुःखितं मनः
सुचक्षुषः प्रविचरतो महात्मनः
सुचक्षुषः प्रविचरतो महात्मनः.
इत्यार्षे श्रीमद् रामायणे वाल्मीकीये आदिकाव्ये सुन्दरकाण्डे
इत्यार्षे श्रीमद् रामायणे वाल्मीकीये आदिकाव्ये सुन्दरकाण्डे
पुष्पकविमानदर्शनं नाम सप्तमः सर्गः सम्पूर्णः।
पुष्पकविमानदर्शनं नाम सप्तमः सर्गः सम्पूर्णः.
Very good. Excellent. Ji. Can you try?
I'll try. सवेश्मजालं बलवान् ददर्श व्यासक्तवैडूर्यसुवर्णजालं यथा महत्प्रावृषिमेघजालं विद्युत्पिनद्धं सविहङ्गजालम् निवेशनानां विविधाश्च शालाः प्रधानशङ्खायुध चापशालाः मनोहराश्चापि पुनर्विशाला ददर्श वेश्मादृशु चन्द्रशालाः गृहाणि नानावसुराजितानि देवासुरैश्चापि सुपूजितानि सर्वैश्च दोषैः परिवर्जितानि कपिर्ददर्श स्वबलार्जितानि तानि प्रयत्नेन समाहितानि मयेन साक्षादिव निर्मितानि महीतले सर्वगुणोत्तराणि ददर्श लङ्काधिपते गृहाणि
Patir.
Oh, sorry. ददर्श लङ्काधिपतेर्गृहाणि ततो ददर्शोच्छ्रित मेघरूपं मनोहरं काञ्चनचारुरूपं रक्षोधिपस्यात्मबलानुरूपं गृहोत्तमं ह्यप्रतिरूपरूपम् महीतले स्वर्गमिवावतीर्णम् श्रिया ज्वलन्तं बहुरत्नकीर्णं नानातरूणां कुसुमावकीर्णं गिरेरिवाग्रं रजसावकीर्णम्.
Very good.
नारीप्रवेकैरिव दीप्यमानं तडिद्भिरम्भोदवदर्च्यमानम् हंसप्रवेकैरिव बाह्यमानं श्रियायुतं खे सुकृतां विमानम् यथा नगाग्रं बहुधातु चित्रं यथा नभश्चग्रह चन्द्रचित्रं ददर्श युक्तीकृतमेघचित्रं विमानरत्नमण्डितचित्रम् रत्नं बहुरत्नचित्रम् महीं कृता राजिपूर्णा शैलाः कृता वृक्षवितानपूर्णाः वृक्षाः कृताः पुष्पवितानपूर्णाः पुष्पं कृतं केसरपत्रपूर्णम् कृतानि वेश्मानि च पाण्डुराणि तथा सुपुष्पाण्यपि पुष्कराणि पुनश्च पद्मानि सकेसराणि धन्यानि चित्राणि तथा वनानि पुष्पाह्वयं नाम विराजमानम् रत्नप्रभाभिश्च विवर्धमानम् वेश्मोत्तमानामपि चोच्यमानम् महाकपिस्तत्र महाविमानम् कृताश्च वैडूर्यमया विहङ्गा रूप्यप्रवालैश्च तथा विहङ्गाः चित्राश्च नानावसुभिर्भुजङ्गा जात्यानुरूपास्तुरगाः शुभाङ्गाः प्रवालजाम्बूनद पुष्पपक्षाः सलीलमावर्जित जिह्मपक्षाः
Very good.
कामस्य साक्षादिव भान्ति पक्षाः कृता विहङ्गाः सुमुखासु पक्षाः नियुज्यमानास्तु गजासु हस्ताः सकेसराश्चोत्पल पत्रहस्ताः बभूव देवी च कृता सुहस्ता लक्ष्मीस्तथा पद्मिनी पद्महस्ता इतीव तद्गृहमभिगम्य शोभनम् सविस्मयो नगमिव चारुशोभनम् पुनश्च तत्परमसुगन्धिसुन्दरम् किमात्ययेन गमिव चारुकन्दरम् ततस्ततां कपिरभिपत्य पूजितां चरन् पुरीं दशमुख बाहुपालिकाम् अदृश्यतां जनकसुतां सुपूजितां सुदुःखितः पतिगुणवेगनिर्जिताम्
The entire verse one more time.
Okay. ततः सतां कपिरभिपत्य पूजितां चरन् पुरीं दशमुख बाहुपालिताम् अदृश्यतां जनकसुतां सुपूजितां सुदुःखितः पतिगुणवेगनिर्जिताम् ततस्तदा बहुविध भावितात्मनः कृतात्मनो जनकसुतां सुवर्त्मनः अपश्यतो भवदति दुःखितं मनः सुचक्षुषः प्रविचरतो महात्मनः इत्यार्षे श्रीमद् रामायणे वाल्मीकिये आदिकाव्ये सुन्दरकाण्डे पुष्पकविमानदर्शनं नाम सप्तमः सर्गः सम्पूर्णः।
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Ji.
Ram
Thank
Ram.
you, Ji. Ram Ram, Periva Sharanam.
It's just a strange coincidence that the Sarga today is related to Vimanam. Let's just maintain 30 seconds silence for the victims of the air crash. We have seen until 6 sargas. Somebody can tell me what the 6 sargas are about? What is the first sarga? What happens in the first sarga? What happens in the second? Or at least the names of the sargas? Any volunteer to state the sarga names? Umaji, can you? I'll unmute you. You can try. Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
Mm.
Samudra Langanam, Hanumanji crosses the ocean.
So that is the first sarga, right?
Yes.
So the first sarga is
Samudra Langanam.
Samudra Langhanam. Then what is the second one?
Second one is Nishagama Pratiksha.
Nishagama.
That is waiting for nightfall.
Nishagama Pratiksha. So
Pratiksha.
Hanuman is entering the city during the night time. Then.
Then third is Lanka Di Devata Vijayaha.
What happens in that?
He meets the Rakshasi, no? The main Rakshasi. And he conquers over her.
Very good. Fourth one?
Fourth one is Lankayam Paribhramanam. He roams around Lanka and sees what are all, where, how the things are, how he can enter and all that. Then fifth is Rakshasi Rakshasa Darshanam. So he comes across the Rakshasi who is guarding Lanka, and and then he has some altercations with her and all that.
No. I think in here he only looks at the different kinds of Rakshasas and Rakshasis in like various sizes, and he basically looks at the different armies, right? That they have, or the guards who are and how they are enjoying the night pleasures. And then the 6th sarga was
Ravana Graha Praveshaha. He enters Ravana's home, no?
Yes. So he goes through
room.
Correct. He goes looking for Sita, and as he goes looking for Sita, he decides he'll jump through one mansion to the other. And finally, he enters the palace of Ravana. Very good. Thank you, Ji. Ram Ram. Very good.
Ram Ram.
So in here, as he enters into the palace of Ravana. Now he continues his search. So the goal for him is not to roam around the city or look at the palaces or find out what the palaces are built of or what is there in the palace. So nothing is the goal here. The goal here is to continue his search for Mother Sita in the city of Lanka. Now, when Sita was abducted, Ravana, we all know the story. So Ravana came as a sannyasi to get the Bhiksha, and then he took her through the Pushpaka Vimanam. Now, as he enters into Ravana's palace, he sees that aerial vehicle. So the name of the vehicle is Pushpaka. Vimanam is basically something that flies in the air. Typically, in these days, we call it aeroplane. Vimanam is anything that is capable of traveling through air. So name of that Vimanam is Pushpaka Vimanam. So as he's entering, he continues looking at the palaces. And as he continues looking at the palaces, he also looks at the aerial plane, which is Pushpaka. There is a brief description about that Pushpaka Vimanam as well. And there is something significant in that which catches our eyes. So that is what we will look at. In the first shloka, Saha Veshmajalam Balavan Tadarsha Vyasakta Vaidurya Suvarna Jalam Yatha Mahat Pravrishi Megha Jalam Vidyut Pinadham Sa Vihanga Jalam. So Hanuman enters into a network of mansions. So the Ravana's palace is one big palace, and surrounding it, there is a huge network of mansions, palaces. And who enters? Saha Balavan, that mighty Hanuman. What did he do? Tadarsha. He saw. Vyasakta means that which is embedded. What was embedded? The mansions were embedded with what? Vaidurya Suvarna, Vaiduryam, and Suvarna, which is gold. Jalam means, in general, Jalam means net, but here you can take it as like kind of a mesh work or an artistic work which is there. How did that look like? Yatha Mahat Pravrishi. Yatha, just like Mahat, great. Pravrishi means during the rainy season. Megha Jalam, how the clouds would look, a cluster of clouds would look. And in that cloud or in that cluster of clouds, when it is raining, we would also see lightning. Vidyut Pinadham, that which is tied with lightning. Sa Vihanga Jalam, and then birds flying all over. So it is kind of an imagination comparing the construction which is made by man to that of nature. And if you take any kavyam, any Rachayita typically describes something which is man-made, comparing it to something which is available in nature. Something which is white can be compared to Hamsa. Something which is intelligent also can be compared with Hamsa to separate the milk and the water. So typically anything that is man-made or anything which is constructed, anything which is seen, is usually compared with that of a natural beauty. That is what Valmiki Maharishi is doing here. So that mighty Hanuman, as he was entering Ravana's griham, he saw a network of huge mansions which were decorated in a very intricate manner with Vaidurium and gold. And how did they look like? They looked like cluster of clouds during a specific season, which is rainy season, which is streaked with lightning. And then at the same time, if we see birds flying, it will be very attractive in nature. So that kind of attraction. So it is kind of a metaphor, man-made beauty, which is compared with something which is available in nature. Niveshananam vividhaha cha shalaha pradhana shankha ayudha chapa shalaha manoharaha cha api punaha vishalaha dadarsha Veshma adrishu chandrashalaha. So he continued looking at different types of buildings and how they looked like. And what did those mansions have? Which catches Hanuman's eyes and how did they look like? Niveshananam, that which is being, that which is a dwelling. Niveshanam means dwelling. Vividhaha, variety of shalaha. Shala is generally abode. It could be a structure, mansion, palace, building. So depending on the size, it can depict different things. And these shalas housed Shankha, Ayudha, Chapa. Shankha would be conch, Ayudha is different kind of weapons, and Chapa is bows. Shalaha, they look like the storage place for these huge weapons and artillery. But they look very beautiful to look at. Manoharaha, that which touches our heart, that which brings beauty in our heart, causes delight in our heart. Again, these were extremely spacious in nature. Punaha vishalaha. Just because, they just carry weapons, it didn't mean that, how many weapons would a Rajyam have? Is it small? No. The mansions were huge enough that it carried a huge amount of weapons. Hanuman saw that, he was seeing that. And how did it resemble? It looked like Chandrashala, moonlit. Of course, night is still very much persistent. And if a moon lights the top of a mountain, how beautiful the sight would look, how attractive, and how it would cause delight to one's heart. Similarly, these mansions, which were huge structured, which carried all these weapons, ayudam, bows, conch, they caused a lot of delight to one's heart, just like a moon would light the top of Adri. Adri is mountain. So you can imagine a full moon night where if we look at a mountain, it is very we do Girivalam in Tiruvannamalai, right? Sometimes you don't have to carry anything. The light of the moon guides us, and it is a beautiful sight by itself. So similarly, Hanuman was enjoying these mansions, looking at these mansions and thinking it looks like huge mountains which are well lit by moon. Grihani Nana Asura Ajitani Deva Asuraihi cha api Supujitani Sarvaihi cha Doshaihi Parivarjitani Kapihi Dadarsha Swa Bala Arjitani. So these mansions, these constructions, these huge structures belong to different asuras. They were conquered or they were inhabited by Nana Asura Rajitani. So they were actually inhabited by different asuras, different demons. And it looked as though even devas and asuras would offer their salutation or they would do puja to these mansions. It looked so beautiful. Even devas and asuras would come down to worship these mansions, these structures. And the beauty of these structures were that one could not find any defect either in the construction, either in the look, either in the structure, either in the way the mansions were decorated. Doshaihi parivarjitani, sarvaihi doshaihi. They were devoid of any kind of defect you can think of. Today, we build a house, within few weeks or months, you see cracks developing, the paints peeling off, the surfaces that become uneven, the taps that break. The constructions are so poor these days. But the mansions that Hanuman looked at were devoid. They were completely free from any defect you can think of in a construction. So such kind of mansions were seen by Hanuman. Kapihi Dadarsha. Hanuman saw these, and These mansions were constructed by the Rakshasas through their bala. Swa bala arjitani. They were earned or constructed or they were created by or obtained by the self-might or strength of the Rakshasas. So Hanuman was gauging the enemy's strength, and at the same time, he was also giving the well-deserved recognition to what he was seeing. It was extremely beautiful, well-decorated, well-maintained, huge, vast structures that even Devas and Asuras would be tempted to come do puja, in the sense that even they would be tempted to come and live there. And these were such perfect structures, right? That perfection depicts the kind of the Rajyam, kingdom, that Ravana, the ruler of the kingdom, had created. So it shows that it is not easy to navigate, easy to win over, easy to cheat. Because if a construction is so precise, so beautiful, free from any defect, you can imagine, should there be a yuddha between Ravana and Rama, which Hanuman knew there would be once he finds Sita, what would be the state of affairs? So that is what he was thinking. It also shows their bala. Tani prayatnena samahitani mayena sakshat iva nirmitani mahitale sarva guna uttarani dadarsha lankadipatehe grihani. So he was looking at the mansion of Lankadipati. Lankadipati is Ravana. Now, whenever we talk about construction which belongs to the Devas, it is constructed by whom? Construction of Devas? Devas? Devas is Vishwakarma. Right? He is the architect of the Devas. Similarly, for the demons, the architect is Maya, Mayasura. Mayasura, I think, was also the one who constructed the flying cities, the Tripura, which Shiva destroyed. Hence, Tripurantaka, right? Tripurasuras, Tripurantaka. So these constructions, these mansions looked as though they were constructed, created by the main architect, Mayena. Mayena is also used here. Mayena, Sakshat, by himself, Nirmitani, constructed. Just one second, Inna. Tani prayatnena, these mansions, prayatna, with a lot of effort. Samahitani, they were constructed, and it looked as though by Maya himself, the architect of Asuras. Mayena Sakshativa, directly Maya himself actually constructed these Nirmitani. Mahitale, where? On earth. We know Vishwakarma architect actually constructs in the Devaloka. If he were to construct here, correspondingly, it would be by Maya. Mahitale. Mahitalam means earth, Bhumihi. Sarva Guna Uttarani. So, Sarva Guna, you think of any quality that defines the best mansion, a best construction. Sarva Guna, the best attributes, Uttarani, it is superior in all attributes. Dadarsha, again, Hanuman saw. What did he see? Lankadhipatehe grihani, the mansions of Lankayaha adipatihi. Who is Adipati of Lanka? Of Ravana. So he very clearly understood the excellence that was there, the careful planning that went behind it, the craftsmanship, right? Sarva Guna Uttarani, how much of skill one must possess to build something like that. So even it can cause joy to somebody who is an enemy, right? In general, we would try to find fault. We would try to devalue something which is very precious, but it was so perfect, so well planned, so well structured that even enemy has no choice but to offer the adulation for these mansions. So wherever recognition is deserving, we need to give that credit, irrespective of whom it belongs to. So that is what the takeaway is from this shloka. So Hanuman is saying as though this was actually built by Maya himself. So that credit has been given. When we say the best architect and this construction looks as though it has been done by the best of the best architects, then the due credit has been given. Then, sorry, I think I moved one. Tataha Dadasha Uchrita Megharupam Manoharam Kanchana Charu Rupam Rakshaha Adhipasya Atma Bala Anurupam Griha Uttamam Hi Apratirupa Rupam. So then Hanuman, when he saw that the network of mansions, suddenly his eyes caught attention of the most splendid of the lot. Tataha, then Dadarsha, Hanuman saw Uchrita Megharupam, that which was resembling the tallest cloud. Here, if the clouds are scattered and in one place there is a dense structure of clouds visible, that will catch our attention, right? Or similarly, clouds are moving. If we see a cluster of clouds over the top of a mountain, that will catch our attention. Similarly, something caught Hanuman's attention. That was very delightful to look at. Manoharam. And the beauty of what attracted Hanuman, Kanchana Charu Rupam. Charu is beautiful, Rupam is form, that which had beautiful form, was golden. It was golden structured, or it looked like gold, or it was made of gold. Rakshaha Adipasya. So the king of the Rakshasas. Atma Bala Anurupam. So we all know Ravana is the mightiest of the kings. These mansion, or this particular mansion, looked as though it is comparable to the Balam. Anurupam means something which is comparable. Atma Balam, the self-strength of whom Rakshasa Adipasya, the king of the Rakshasas. Griha Uttamam, it looked as though it was the best amongst the mansions there. So it was very obvious. If we have a street full of huge houses, huge structures, and say the mayor that belongs to that Rajyam lives in that particular street, just by looking at the size and the beauty and the way it is constructed, way it is decorated, the aesthetics, the architecture, we will be able to say that, okay, this belongs to the mayor, or this belongs to the chief ruler, or this belongs to the king. Similarly, though there were huge networks of mansions, this particular mansion caught Hanuman's attention, and his thinking to himself, this mansion by itself looks mighty, comparable to the bala or the strength of Ravana himself. Apratirupa Rupam. And he says, if we had to compare this to something, then he felt that he will not be able to find an equivalent example. So in general, if we look at, if, for example, if we say palaces, right? The first, now in India, when we think of a palace, what comes to our mind? If we have to think of, it was huge palace, just like that of The first thing that will come to our mind is Mysore, right? If we had to say, Navaratri celebration, Durga Puja celebration, which was huge, grand, and so many people participated, and it was well lit, well decorated, people, thronging. What will we think of an example? Correct. It will be Calcutta's Durga Puja. So every place when we have something which is at the top when there is a celebration, right? If we have to think of, huge crew of elephants with beautiful structures, beautiful exchange of colors and fireworks, automatically our mind will go to Trishur Puram, right? So similarly, for everything in general, there is something which tops the list. And when we look at something very similar, we will say, oh, it is so beautiful, so well lit. I felt as though I was looking at Mysore Palace. There were so many elephants with colorful umbrellas and huge fireworks. It looked as though I was actually visiting Trishur Puram, right? So similarly, in general, whenever we look at something, there is a comparison example that runs in our mind. But Hanuman, looking at this mansion, the only thing he could compare is to that of the might of Ravana himself. And then he felt there is nothing that is comparable. It is incomparable in its beauty as well as its form. Mahitale Swargam Iva Avatirnam Shriya Jwalantam Bahu Ratna Kirnam Nana Taruna Pusuma Avakirnam Girehe Iva Agram Rajasa Avakirnam. So here Swargam is what? Swargam is heaven. So it looked as though heaven had avatirnam means had come down, which is why it is avataram. Avataram means somebody who has come to earth. We say dashavataram, avataram. Taranam means moving, avataranam means descending. So Mahavishnu from his Vaikunta descended on Bhuloka. So Swargam iva avatirnam. So Mahitale. Mahitale means, what is Mahitalam? Mahitalam is earth. So just on the earth, Swargam iva avatirnam. It looked as though heaven had descended on the earth. Shriya Jwalantam. Jwalantam, Jwala in general, splendor, brilliance, shine. And which was very beautiful to look at. Bahuratna Kirnam, which was embedded with different variety of gems. Nana Tarunam. Taruhu is trees, different variety of trees. Kusuma Avakirnam. So if different varieties of trees are filled with different kinds of flowers, Girehe Iva Agram, where on top of the mountain, Rajasa Avakirnam, covered with a mountain whose top is filled with trees, and those trees are filled with beautiful flowers. So you can imagine a mountain peak. It's very common in certain countries where you have these huge mountains, and mountains have different kinds of trees which have beautiful blooming flowers. So the drive itself will be very scenic and beautiful, attractive to look at. So this particular mansion looked as though heaven had descended upon the earth. It was beaming with shine and splendor. It had different kinds of gems which were adorning that particular mansion. And how did it look like? It looked as though a huge mountain which is filled with different trees on top, and those trees are filled with blooming variety of flowers. So when it is different trees, obviously the flowers also will be different. Here Rajasa in general it means the floral Rajasaha is general silver or shining in nature, but here Rajasa Avakirnam means the flowers or the pollen or that we look at from the far, which kind of like sticks out. That is what actual meaning is, but in general a mountain peak which is filled with trees and the trees which is filled with blooming flowers. You can take it that way. Nari pravekaihi iva deepyamanam tadidbihi ambodavat archyamanam. Hamsa pravekaihi iva bahyamanam shriya yutam khe sukrita vimanam. Khe here refers to sky. So in here, something that we would see in the sky. What would we see? Shriya yutam, which is something which is filled with shine or splendor. Khe refers to in the sky. Sukritam vimanam, which is Sukritaha means something which is auspicious, beautiful, significant, striking in nature. Vimanam. So there comes the Pushpaka Vimana Darshanam. So Nari Pravekaihi Iva, the finest of the women. Deepyamanam. Deepyamanam means again, Deepaha means that which shines. So something which is shining like the best among the women. Tadit bihi. Taditta. We have seen this word taditta. Does anybody remember? Vidyut. Tadit. Tadit is Ashaji says Tadit is lightning. So Tadit bihi, by lightning in the rain clouds. Ambhodavat archyamanam. When one would worship something like this. Hamsa pravekaihi. That which is the chief among the Hamsa. Hamsa here refers to something which is pure, something which is attractive, something which is also calm and striking in nature, which is resplendent in nature, virtuous in nature as well. Bahyamanam, that which is born. So Pushpaka Vimanam's sight is being described here. Pushpaka Vimanam was glowing like the most beautiful among the women. And such a woman would be respected, revered, worshipped, just like a thunder cloud shines with lightning. It looked as though, you could see like the best amongst the swans in the sky. The metaphor here, we have to take it as beautiful, that which strikes out. It can also be compared to something which is white, right? Because swan is white in nature and the rainy cloud is black in nature. So it looked like some swan, a bird, which is there amongst the rainy cloud, and extremely virtuous in nature. Shriya, which is virtuous in nature. Sukritam, auspicious, good, striking. Vimanam, such kind of Vimanam caught his attention. So just like the best amongst the women and like a lightning in the cloud, which is worthy of worship, Archyamanam. It looked as though, I think the structure also kind of resembles swan, the structure of the Pushpaka Vimanam, right? So I think that is also described here. The Vimanam itself looked like the structure of a swan. So typically these Vimanams either look like a peacock or they look like a swan. So and it looked auspicious, significant, striking, beautiful. Shriya Sukritam Vimanam. How did it look like? Yatha Naga Agram Bahu Dhatu Chitram Yatha Nabaha Cha Graha Chandra Chitram Dadarsha Yukti Krita Megha Chitram Vimana Ratnam Bahuratna Chitram. So, it looked like a mountain which has dhatu. Dhatu in general means the root. Here it can also mean the ores, right? A mountain that carries precious ores of these gems. Naga Agram. Nagaha is mountain. Agram is the top. So if the top of a mountain that carries precious, colorful minerals or the ores, Bahudatu Chitram. How beautiful that would look. Yatha Nabaha, the sky, which is adorned with planets and moon. There are days when we can actually see the sky filled with stars, and we can actually pinpoint the particular planets as well. Extremely catchy to look at. Once we spot a planet, for some reason, we keep gazing at the sky for a very long time. So similarly, Graha Chandra Chitram, the moon, a sky which is adorned with full moon and planets. Tadarsha, Hanuman saw. Yukti Krita, Megha Chitram, the cloud which is filled everywhere. Vimana Ratnam Bahuratna Chitram, that the divine celestial, the chariot which flies, Vimana Ratnam, was also decorated with many kinds of precious gems. So here there are two comparisons, right? The top of a mountain, which is attractive and shining because of precious minerals. Similarly, a sky, which is shining, attractive in nature because of the visibility of the planets as well as the full moon. And the Megham, that is beautiful to look at. Similarly, the Vimanam, Pushpaka Vimanam, also was decorated adorned with precious gems. The magnificence of that Vimanam itself is symbolized with like so many things. How something which is there on earth, which is the mountain, and something which is there on the sky. So both the comparisons have come into picture in the 8th shloka. Mahim Krita Parvata Rajipurnaha Shailaha Krita Vriksha Vitana Purnaha Vrikshaha Krita Pushpa Vitana Purnaha Pushpam Kritam Kesara Patrapurnam. So imagine earth, which is full of mountains, the mountains which is filled with trees, the trees which is filled with trees which are filled with flowers, and the flowers which look very beautiful when they bloom. And because of the bloom, full blooming flowers, we can see the petals and the filaments. So that is what makes the flowers beautiful, right? So Parvata Rajipurna, so a mountain which is the earth which is filled with mountains, the mountains which are filled with vrikshas, which is trees, the vrikshas which are filled with pushpa, flowers, and the pushpam, the flowers which are attractive or look complete. The perfect detail is given here. They are fully blossomed flowers which attract us because of the petals as well as the filaments. So again, the attention to detail, how nature is interlinked with the Pushpaka Vimanam, the comparison, I think the mountain also signifies the size of the Vimanam itself, right? To actually have enough thrust to fly over in the air, you need to have a particular size. So that size is captivating in nature. at some level, the beauty of this creation is described in like every level, right? In terms of the size, in terms of the construction, in terms of how beautiful, how it was decorated, how it attracted. So I think in every level, it is kind of described in the Sarga. Kritani, Veshmani cha Pandurani, Tatha Supushpani api Pushkarani, Punaha cha Padmani, Sa Kesarani, Dhanyani, Chitrani, Tatha Vanani. Again, so these mansions were there. So this around this Pushpaka Vimanam was present there, and he could still sight the mansions. The Pushpaka Vimanam was Vishalam by itself, huge structure by itself, and he could still see the mansions which were Pandurani, which were white in nature, pristine in nature. And these mansions also had these Supushpani api Pushkarani. Pushkaram is pond which is filled with fully bloomed flowers. In general, lotuses. Punahacha Padmani Sakesarani, these lotuses which had the filaments and the fully bloomed petals. Dhanyani Chitrani. Dhanyani here refers to the richness, prosperity. Chitrani, the beauty. Tathavanani, just like a forest would be fully filled with trees, the trees which are filled with fully blossomed flowers. So the mansions were there which were white and pristine in nature. The ponds were there filled with lotuses. The lotuses were fully blossomed or bloomed. And you could actually see prosperity everywhere, wherever Hanuman looked. Now comes the name. Pushpahvayam nama virajamanam ratna prabhabhihi cha vivardhamanam veshma uttamanam api cha uchchamanam mahakapihi tatra mahavimanam. So he saw the Brihat, the big Vimanam, the aerial vehicle. That great monkey saw the greatest Vimanam there. So it was written, Pushpaka, Pushpahvayam Nama. That is the name, Pushpaka Vimanam. It was written there. It was embedded there. Virajamanam, that which was shining. Ratna Prabhabihi. Prabha here refers to the splendor, resplendence, because of the gems. Vivardhamanam, which was, as he looked at it, it looked as though the radiance was growing. Veshma Uttamanamapi, that even the best of the mansions that he had seen, towering above that, Uchamanam, beyond that Mahakapihi, the greatest monkey, Tatra there, saw Mahavimanam, the greatest aerial vehicle. So I think at every step, this Vimanam was surpassing its own excellence. And Hanuman could understand the grandeur of the construction and what it actually signifies. And the radiance also kind of depicted the prosperity, the richness, the planning, the construction that went beyond that Vimanam. Of course, we all know Pushpaka Vimanam was constructed by who constructed Pushpaka Vimanam? Pushpaka Vimanam was constructed by Vishwakarma. And whom did he create it for? Vishwakarma did not create it for Kubera. Vishwakarma created it for Not Indra. Not Indra. Later it was gifted to Kubera. That is correct. But who gifted it to Kubera? Surya. Somebody has said Surya. That is not correct. Brahma. Vishwakarma created it for Brahma. And then Brahma gifted it to Kubera. And then it was, how did Ravana get it? He defeated, correct. He defeated Kubera and then he seized that Vimanam from him. So this Mahavimanam has a story behind it. Vishwakarma for Brahma, Brahma to Kubera, and then fight between Kubera and Ravana, and then Ravana seized it from Kubera. Correct. Kritaha cha Vaidurya Mayaha Vihangaha Rupya Pravalaihi cha Tatha Vihangaha Chitraha cha Nana Avasubhihi Bhujangaha Jati Anurupaha Turagaha Shubha Angaha. What is Turagaha? You have seen this word before. Turagaha is horse, correct. So here, the structure that he looked at, that is described in this 12th verse. Kritaha, that which was made, Vaidurya Vihagaha. So it was made out of Vaidurya. Rupya Pravalaihi, again, made of different kinds of gems, silver, coral, diamonds, Tata Vihangaha. It was still comparable to that of birds because of the nature that it can fly. Chitraha, beautiful. It had different kinds of variety embedded, variety of gems embedded in it. Nana Avasubhihi Bhujangaha. So it had structures which resembled serpents. Bhujangaha is serpents. So the structure looked like, different serpents were adorning the Vimanam. Jati Anurupaha, different varieties. Turagaha, horses with beautiful limbs. So the Pushpaka Vimanam had different structures, or we can think of it as different kind of embeddings which were seen. So the craftsmanship or the skill in constructing that Vimanam is described in the 12th. So it looked as though birds were there, but those birds were made of Vaidurium. And then similarly, different shining gems, again, the birds which were there. Chitraha, which were very beautiful to look at. Serpent-like structures. Different types of horses with specific anga. Anga is limbs. So the luxury that was employed in creating this particular Vimanam, the attention to detail, the beauty and the mastery over art can be seen in this 12th shloka through the description of the Vimana. Of course, I think it also describes Hanuman's attention to detail, right? Oh, okay, there is one Pushpaka Vimanam here. It's huge, structured, and then he doesn't walk away. Everything that Hanuman sees, he pays attention, and it is described by Valmiki Maharishi through the eyes of Hanuman. And Turagaha in general refers to lofty horse, not the regular ones, right? The well-bred, the royal horses. Turagaha. Pravala Jambunada Pushpa Pakshaha Salilam Avarjita Jimha Pakshaha Kamasya Sakshat Iva Bhanti Pakshaha Krita Vihangaha Sumukaha Supakshaha. What is Pakshaha? Paksha, we saw it in the first Sarga. Pakshaha. Pakshaha is wings. So birds which with wings that are made of gold, wings that have beautiful flowers, wings that flap very gracefully. It looked as though Cupid himself, Kamasya Sakshat Iva Bhanti Pakshaha, created by Cupid himself, Kamadeva himself. And these birds have beautiful faces and beautiful wings. So here, the artificial beauty that has been created, which is constructed, aesthetic in nature, wonderful to look at. It kind of elevates the skill and the talent behind it. So when we think of birds, so I think the general comparison to birds is that because it is a vimanam, right? We know Paravai Kandan, Vimanam Padaitan. The whole plane came by looking at birds. So the comparison, because it flies, is to that of birds. So birds with wings that resemble gold, wings which are blooming in nature, just like fully bloomed flowers, birds which flap their wings very gracefully. It looked as though Bhanti, here the shine, because of the shine, these were constructed by Kamadeva himself. And these birds have charming faces and lovely wings. Supakshaha, wings which are attractive in nature. Niyujyamanaha tu gajaha suhastaha sa kesaraha cha utpala patrahastaha babhuva devi cha krita suhastaha lakshmihi tata padmini padmahastaha. So there was a figure that caught the attention of Hanuman. And what was that figure? The Pushpaka Vimanam had something embedded. There was a figure that was embedded. And what is the irony there? What is the irony behind that particular figure that Hanuman saw? Shantiji, I'm going to unmute you.
Rama is the avatar of Mahavishnu. Ravana has abducted his wife, but his Vimana has Lakshmi's that sculpture or picture. It has Lakshmi's structure in his Vimana, but he is the enemy of Mahavishnu here. So it's the irony, I think.
Okay. Ushaji, what about you? Ushaji has said something.
What I'm thinking is, அவரோட ஃபோக்கஸ் எல்லாம் லக்ஷ்மி எங்க இருக்கான்னு பாக்குறதுலயே இருக்கு. பிகாஸ் சீதா எங்க இருக்கான்னு மாத்திரம் தான் அவர் இப்ப ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கார். அதனால அவர் கண்ணுக்கு அந்த மகாலட்சுமியோட இது தெரியும் போது அவருக்கு வந்து சீதையே அங்க தரிசிச்சுட்ட மாதிரி ஒரு இது இருக்கும்னு எனக்கு.
You're thinking that way.
Okay.
Anybody else? Anybody else who wants to take a stab at this? Something which is very obvious. What is the connection between Sita and Lakshmi? Ah, correct. Jayashree ji? You can
Namaskara, Bhagini.
Namaste.
Yeah, this Vimanam has got the picture of Lakshmi. Whereas irony is it has been used to abduct Lakshmi Devi, that is Sita, who's avatar of Lakshmi.
Correct. So imagine we own an airline and somebody abducts us in the same airline, right? It's like that. So it has very good, excellent. So it has Mahalakshmi's structure embedded in that Pushpaka Vimana, and Ravana actually used the same Pushpaka Vimana to abduct Sita, who is Mahalakshmi Swarupam. So that is the irony. So it already has Lakshmi there. That is one part. But the kidnapping of Lakshmi happens in a Vimanam that has the structure of Lakshmi embedded on it. So the divinity is there in that Vimanam, but unfortunately the Vimanam has been used to abduct Mahalakshmi herself. That is the irony there. Of course, when I think Hanuman looks at Lakshmi, Lakshmi's image or the sculpting there, obviously he's going to be reminded of Sita Devi. So Niyujyamanaha, where something was placed. Gajaha suhastaha. The Gaja is elephant. Elephants with trunks. Sakesaraha. Kesaraha here, elephants with tusks. So imagine the size of the Pushpaka Vimanam if it has so many things embedded on it. Utpala patrahastaha. Lotus petal like trunks. Babhuva Devi. There was also one Devi there. What Devi? Krita Suhastaha. That Devi had Suhasta. Beautiful hands. You have class now. Can you move there? I'm almost done. Just 1 second. I have 3 more shlokas. Can you take it there? I'm not getting it. Internet is not working there. So, Krita Suhastaha, beautiful hands of Lakshmi, Lakshmi Devi. Of course, Lakshmi is Padmini, where she is seated on lotus. Padmahasta, she has lotus. She carries lotus in her hand. So that's what Padmakshi, Padmini, Padma, Padmahasta, all these refer to Lakshmi Devi. That is the irony here. So the divinity is signified by these, but it is lost because the Pushpaka Vimana was used to abduct Sita Devi. The imagery is only sacred. The utilization was evil in nature. Iti eva, iti iva tat griham abhigamya shobhanam sa vismayaha nagam iva charu shobhanam punaha cha tat param sugandhi sundaram hima atyaye nagam iva charu kandaram. So Hanuman was filled with wonder. Vismayam means wonder. So as he looked at the mansions, as he looked at the best amongst the mansion, as he looked at the Pushpaka Vimanam, which was placed near the mansion, Vismayaha means he was wonderstruck, Shobhanam, by the splendor, by the beauty, by the grandeur. And this Pushpaka Vimanam and the mansion resembled lovely mountain. Tad griham abhigamya, having approached, having gone near that house, which was splendid in nature, Hanuman saha vismayaha, he became wonderstruck. Nagam iva charu shobhanam. Nagam here, Nagaha means mountain. So which was huge structure, just like a mountain. Punahacha param sugandhi sundaram. So even though it belonged to the Rakshasas, in general we say Devas are sattvic in nature, it is sugandham. Asuras are demonic in nature and durgandham, right? But here, wherever he went, sundaram, it was beautiful to look at. Sugandhi, it was fragrant to look at. And then it looked like a huge mountain which had well-structured caves, Charu Kandaram, well-structured caves, which adorned that mountain. There is again a comparison here. Tataha saha tam kapihi abhipatya, as he entered, pujitam, that city which is respected. Purim Dashamukha Bahupalita, that city which was ruled by, which was protected by 10-headed Dashamukha Bahupalita, by the 10-headed Ravana. And as he wandered, Charan, as he wandered around here and there, Adrishya, he did not see. Whom did he not see? Janaka Sutam, Janaka Sutam, that daughter of Janaka, referring to Sita. Supujitam, who is actually respected as well. But then, because he did not see Sita, he was dukhitaha. He was very sad. He was deeply grieved. Patiguna Vega Nirjitam. He was thinking of the equivalent virtues of Rama as well. So he was experiencing two different kinds of emotions. Tataha saha kapihi. Then that Hanuman, what did he do? Puri abhipatya, having entered that Puri, Charan, as he moved around, what kind of place? Pujitam, that which is respected, and that which is ruled by Dashamukha Ravana. But then, even after his prayatna till now, we have done only 6 sargas. And the first sarga was still the crossing over the ocean. So, technically speaking, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 sargas only he has been looking around. But he has, every time he has this expectation that he will look at a place and then he will find Sita there. He feels sad, but at the same time, his heart is filled with an emotion which can be taken as happiness, but here it is more about Sita, who has her husband, her consorts, Guna, Pati Guna Vega Nirjitam. She has the virtues of Rama in her heart. So he's very sure of the fact that Sita would be thinking of Rama. Tataha tada bahuvida bhavita atmanaha krita atmanaha janakasutam suvartmanaha. Apashyataha, he did not see. Abhavat ati dukkitam manaha, his heart was extremely pained and sorrowful. So chakshushaha, he was keenly observing pravicharataha as he moved around Mahatmanaha, that Hanuman. So that great Hanuman who whose mind Bahuvida Bhavita Atmanaha, his mind was under his control. Even though it was looking at different things, his mind was very much under his control. Krita Atmanaha, who had great discipline, he was looking for Janaka Sutta, for the daughter of Janaka. And then he knew that this daughter of Janaka, Suvartmanaha, he follows the righteous path, and Sita Devi Janaki also would be following the righteous path only. But then, without seeing her, apashyataha, that Hanuman who did not see Sita, abhavat at that time, ati dukkitam manaha, his mind, heart experienced a lot of pain, dukkha, sorrow, but he was keenly observing as he moved about to see if there is a chance of finding Sita Devi. So this is the Pushpaka Vimana Darshanam. This particular Sarga calls or highlights two things: the Vimana description and the grandeur of the Vimanam and how well constructed it was. Of course, the mansion which was described before that, followed by Mahalakshmi, the embedded image of Mahalakshmi which was seen on the Vimanam, which was used to abduct, kidnap Mahalakshmi herself. That's it. So 17 shlokas in this Sarga. So the next one, 8th Sarga, is relatively shorter Sarga. So I'm thinking, because Sarga 1 is, I think that's the biggest Sarga we have learned so far. I think 200 plus shlokas, 215 or so. So next week we can do Sarga 8 and with meaning. We can revise quickly Sarga 7, meaning of Sarga 7. We'll learn Sarga 8 along with the meaning, and I'm thinking maybe we can just quickly revise the chanting of Sarga 1. Any volunteers? So we can do 125, 8, maybe 9 volunteers, 25 each. Anybody who can sign up? So I request everybody to practice the entire Sarga. You can just give me the names now and I will take it. So we can do sets of 25. Nalini ji can do Sundari ji, then Padmavati ji. Usha ji, then Uma Krishnan. I'm just looking at the chat and taking names. Just give me a second. So Nalini ji, Sundari ji, Meenakshi ji, Padmavati, Uma, Lakshmi B. Just make sure that you practice the entire Sarga. So what we will do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need one more. Shanti, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, one more. Practice the entire Sarga. So I will give the assignment next Thursday. So I want all 9 volunteers to practice the entire Sarga. I will give the set of 25 assignment. I request others also to practice. I will also practice and come so that we get comfortable with the first Sarga. I need one more volunteer. Pragnya Bhakti. Okay. Done. I have the 9 names. So practice all the 215 shlokas of Sarga 1. So next week we will have revision of 7, meaning of 7, learning of 8, learning of meaning of 8, and then just the chanting of the first Sarga. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ। हरि ओम तत्सत्। धन्यवादः। राम राम राम। जय श्री राम, जय हनुमान। सर्वं कृष्णार्पणमस्तु। जय जय शंकर, हर हर शंकर। ओम तत्सत्।